And here's Isaac Newton, and you know what? He does have a Jesus kind of essence to him, does he not? I bet he's got a Jesus complex. Don't he got a Jesus complex? So, out of everybody, I'll just conclude with who I think looks the most like Jesus. He's got that long-haired hippie look, right? But the Jesus that most people recognize is Caesar Borgia. And Caesar Borgia, is a handsome Jesus. But it's not actually... Jesus was a real person, right? So you can't just kind of pick the artwork that you like the best. Also, white and blue eyes. Do you know anything about Jerusalem or Bethlehem? You ever been to Bethlehem? You know where Bethlehem is today? So, when I look at all the Jesus gods, all the December 25th gods, Hercules, Hermes, Sol Invictus, the Buddha, Tammuz, Isaac Newton, Horus, Zarathustra, Adonis, Krishna, and Mithras. Out of all those, let's say Hercules, Sol Invictus, Buddha, I would say Jesus most closely resembles Sol Invictus and Zarathustra. And Zarathustra has the sun thing and the rays coming up behind his head. And he looks Middle Eastern with like his hat and his outfit. So he has a Jesus essence. But man, this Sol Invictus picture that I found, I just feel like I found, it was Constantine. It was all fucking Constantine. 314, 315 AD, 325 AD, right around there. You just had Sol Invictus. Before then, they had like a different one. They did something with Mithras. So Sol Invictus, 274 AD, is going to be the Roman god. No, everybody has to bow down to Sol Invictus, 274 AD. And then after 274 AD, you have 307 AD. They say that Mithras is a protector of the empire by the Romans. So they don't say Mithras is the main god. Mithras isn't Sol Invictus. Mithras isn't Jesus the Christ. Not yet. Constantine is going to say that Sol Invictus is Jesus on 325 AD. And then once Christianity becomes the religion of the Roman Empire, then there's persecutions all throughout. And then the Roman Empire collapses within 100 to 200 years right afterwards. Christianity only infected the Roman Empire right at the very end. And is that the reason why the Roman Empire went down? I think it's just the empire went on for fucking 500 years. You can have an empire like Napoleon. He was spreading some progressive ideas because he went to backwards lands. So since he had been a product of the French Revolution, he was being progressive in a lot of different lands that he went to. But then he wanted to reestablish slavery back in Haiti. So he was, not progressive in other lands. So it depends on, I guess the place where you're conquering. You could be a progressive voice or a progressive essence and energy there, or you could be destroying it. So this is Sol Invictus. So in 274 AD, okay, all the Romans, you got to bow down to your Sol Invictus. This is your god. Sol Invictus, bow down. Then this looks exactly like fucking church with all the weird fucking the things standing, all the dumb weird shit, all that gothic art. And so 274 AD, everybody bowed down to Sol Invictus. And then 307, you don't have to bow down to Mithras, but do realize that Mithras is a protector of the empire. But still, Sol Invictus is the main god, the one and only God. This is the Son of God, right? The Son of God. You got, look at that with the sun behind his head, with the sun rays. Have you seen that somewhere? How did Jesus ascend into heaven? He needed some angel wings in order to ascend to heaven. Don't we all become angels when we get in that? What the point is? How is that not Jesus the Christ? How is that not Jesus the Christ? I don't know if Saturnalia is, Christmas. I'm sure there's like some leftover cultural things, but the more I think about it, but goddamn, that might be fucking genius. The Romans created Jesus and Christianity in order to compete with the Jewish people were such diehards, such zealots, I guess is what they're saying. They just won't bow down to the Roman emperor. But I am God. Why do you worship to your invisible God when I am God? God says I am God, and you're saying that I am not God? Your God is different than my God, but your God is the one and only God. My God is Hercules. He's not the one and only. Zeus is pretty big, but I guess you're saying your God is bigger than my God. Hercules. Okay. You get the point. Zoroaster is not God. Adonis is not God. But Tammuz is. Helen of Troy's father was Zeus? No shit. You know who the father of Helen of Troy was? Zeus. You really don't know anything about Helen of Troy, do you? Because that's horse shit. And if you don't believe that Zeus is the father of Helen of Troy, how can you believe that God is the fucking father of Jesus, Mary, and that whole goofy saga? That little silly story. Oh, and then he was laid in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothes. You had John the Baptist. He was born first, and then he baptized Jesus, and then he went to jail. They said, hey, why'd you baptize Jesus? Because he's the Son of God. Then they chopped off his head. Herod Agrippus chopped off Baptist, John the Baptist's head. Beheaded him. For what? Being a religious man? I don't know how to end this, but I feel like this is good knowledge. Hercules. He was sucking on Hera's nipple and then bit the nipple and the milk spilled all over the universe. That's how he got the Milky Way. And because Hercules bit Hera's nipple, he created the Milky Way, but Hera's pissed off and then promised to make Hercules' life as difficult as fucking possible. Hera even sends 2 snakes to kill baby Hercules in his crib. And you know what Hercules does with those 2 baby snakes? He chokes them to death. He chokes them to death. Some people say only 1 bull for the pasture. And you got too many chefs spoil the broths. But I think that my army, every man's a president. Every man's a chief. Every man's a god. Enkidu, Gilgamesh, he was born by the gods in Enkidu. This is a wild man created by the gods. I know this is all bullshit, but just think about that. A wild man created by the gods. Enkidu. That's actually an incredible story. You know how they go to tame Enkidu? They give him woman. Hey, Enkidu, you're a wild man created by the gods. We need to tame you. Ooh, give him a woman. Oh, now he is not so wild. What happened to your wildness edge? Huh, Enkidu? And then Enkidu is going to get conquered by Gilgamesh. They'll become best friends. And then he's going to die. He's going to get killed. They'll go on all these different adventures together. Good old Gilgamesh. Whatever happened to Gilgamesh?